So I'm gonna go over my current risk management strategy that I use to protect my trading account, and I'm gonna break it down for you. So I talked about position sizing, um, and stop losses, and all of those techniques and habits that you should use in order to protect your account, just so you can stay alive for another day and continue trading, right? And just so you could actually be profitable. So position sizing, yeah, allows me to control how much I'm risking and gives me multiple chances to profit on a given day. Instead of using a large portion of my account to trade, I'll only use a small piece of it. PC. I'll only use a small piece of it. So if I use 10% of my account per trade, if I were to lose 100% of that options contract or that trade, if I were to lose all of that capital that I put in, I'd only lose 10% of my total account. And due to the high volatility of options, I also integrate, not might, this is my actual strategy, but I also integrate the use of like mental stop losses and technical stop losses. For a mental stop, it will be maybe 10-20% on the option, and that would only translate to 1 to 2% of my total account if I was using 10% of my account, right? So if I'm losing 1 to 2% of my account on the trade, I still have a lot more trades that I can take in order to make that back over time, rather than losing all of that 10% and then losing 10% of my account. And on the flip side, say, I have a 10% of my account on that trade, and then I make 100% on that option, I gain 10%. Or if I'm using 10% of my account on that trade and I make 10% or 20% profit, then I would make 1% or 2%. So having these stop losses allow those to like stay consistent. So I'm losing the same for each trade, or losing relatively the same amount for each trade. So I'm able to give myself a chance to be able to make it back reasonably. And technical stop losses are something that I use to tell me whether my trade analysis is actually still valid or not. And I use it as an indication to exit the trade even if my mental stop loss hasn't been triggered. So what I mean by this is the technical stop loss is if I do analysis, right? And I say a certain stock I want to go long if it hits this area of demand, or if it hits this support area, and I'm seeing different things that indicate, all right, there's demand here. If we break that structure, say if we break that bullish structure, if we break that whatever structure that I had seen, and those signs, getting validated, and I'm seeing other signs that say, all right, what I thought isn't actually true, or what I thought isn't actually happening anymore or working at the moment, the technical stop loss will be an area where it invalidates my previous analysis that got me in the trade in the first place. Um, and I'll just use that as an indication to exit the trade. Regardless of if I'm negative 10%, negative 9%, 15%, it doesn't matter because the analysis is wrong. The mental stop is just like a stop loss on the actual dollar value of the option, because it allows me to control how much of my account I'm losing. But if the trade is wrong, I don't want to be in that trade regardless, because the goal is to have good analysis and correct analysis and execute based off of that correct analysis. If the trade is wrong, I'm not gonna wait for it to be right again. I'm not trying to be proven right. If my technical stop loss gets triggered, I should get out regardless. And then after, I should go reflect and see, all right, was my analysis actually wrong, or was my stop loss too tight? Did I need to give the trade more room to like move and fluctuate and stuff like that? Was my timing right? So like paying attention to all those different factors and stuff like that is going to be the difference that makes or breaks your trading. All right. And then I also implement daily and weekly loss limits. This is the same thing, circuit breakers. I implement circuit breakers. Uh, and then the most underrated tip, honestly, is just if you don't see anything worth taking, just don't take it. Stop trying to go in and make money. Your goal is to take good trades. The money will follow always. The money will always follow because you're risking money to make money. But the whole game of it is doing analysis, looking at structure, then making decisions and capitalizing based off of what you see. And money's gonna come. Just with good risk management and then position sizing and consistency, the money will just start flowing into your account, and you'll be surprised. Sometimes, like, I'll just lock in, I'll just focus on the process, focus on what I'm doing and improving my game. Next thing you know, I'm up so much more money in my account, and I'm just like, holy shit, how did this happen? That's how you want things to be, and then you'll start really feeling good, you know. And as a trader, it's impossible to be right every single time. The only way to stay alive in this game is through disciplined risk management.